Here we go. Um, your answer here for the smallest angle was so close. And maybe you had it and maybe you made a typo, I don't know. In any case, I'll work through the problem. So, let's look at this. And since it's talking about a triangle, let me draw a triangle. And this is going to be fairly crude here, and you'll see why as I draw it. And let me go over here and get this thing going. And here we go. Here's our triangle. And it could be any shape. But the sum of the angles of a triangle, and here's angle 1, and I am just naming them just arbitrary, angle 2, and angle 3. And when you add all those things together, angle, and that's terrible, 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3, that's going to equal 180. And the problem says that, and I'll point to it just as I slowly get this thing up here. 180 degrees. So angle 1, angle 2, angle 3 are 180 degrees. So let's look at where it says it. It says it right here in this sentence. The sum of the measures of the three angles of the triangle equals 180. Okay. And that's true for every triangle. They said it here, but that's true for any triangle. So let's look at angle 1 and how we're going to use algebra to come up with the figuring out what the angle is. Angle 1 is equal to something, and angle 2 is equal to something. And this process right now is what is going to be the most complicated in this whole problem. Is trying to figure out how to set up angle 1, angle 2, and angle 3. And here it talks about the in this problem says the measure of the first angle is 3 times the measure of the second angle. The measure of the third angle is 75 degrees more than the measure of the second angle. And the clue here, and these word problems are just brutal because there's really no real hard and fast rule for anything. But because the second angle is mentioned in both sentences, that's what I want to use as my x. So let's go with this is equal to x. Then it comes up and it says, first sentence, in a triangle the measure of the first angle is equal to 3 times the measure of the second angle. So angle 1 is 3 times angle 2, so that's 3x. Going over to the second sentence here, and you see my little itty bitty dot. The measure of the third angle is 75 degrees more than the measure of the second angle. So I come over to here and I change this to x plus 75. Okay, now that's the hard part. The easy part is now to come up with, well, what is x? X is going to be adding all 3 of these angles like I did up here, all equal to 180. So angle 1 is 3x. Angle 2 is just x, and I'm adding them together. Angle 3 is x plus 75. And that's all equal to 180. And when you combine this mess together, you end up with 5x plus 75 is equal to 180. Now there's three parts to this problem, and you, since I don't know why, since you got the first part wrong, and this is a 180 here, poorly written, but then this is pretty scratchy. And the answer here, when you finally move the 75 over to this side and then divide by 5, is going to be x equals 21, which is angle 2. That's the smallest one. That's when you solve for x. You had 22. To get the other two angles, you substitute into this one. 3 times 21 is equal to 63. Is that right? Yep, 63. And then finally, the last one is going to be 21 plus 75. And that's going to be equal to 96. And when you add all three of these together, 21 plus 63 plus 96, that's going to equal 180. So you have figured out how to do this problem. Hopefully this is clear. You may ask why I did it this way, but I was able to take your problem, since it's a word problem, and paste it into here, and then I used magic to make these little squirrely numbers here. But I hope this clears up your problem, and I hope that you are able to solve this in the future. And this will conclude this video.